it's pretty nice to see some of our biggest rivals and them experiencing their downfall. You know, the Bucks, they are 1-5 since Doc Rivers has taken over. There's a chance he could end up being out for the season. You know, he's already poorly conditioned enough. He's sitting on the couch eating Doritos. Welcome back to the Old Bull and Young Calf Boston Sports Podcast, episode 26, and we are in the trenches of the NBA and NHL season, and the players are feeling it. We're feeling it. We got a mixed bag for you today, some Patriots. Dad, throw him the curveball that is this episode of the podcast. What do we got for him?
So we're going to change it up a little bit. We're going to have an extended version of buy and sell. Matt came up with his lame buys and sells for me that I'm going to, answer. And I came up with amazing ones too that are going to blow your mind. Try not to fall asleep during his. And then we're going to go into a mystery segment. We're going to combine the Bruins and Celtics and let you know how we're feeling about the state of each team at this point in their seasons. And then we're going to do a new betting segment. All right. I'm calling it the Old Bulls Golden Wages. Okay. But you know what? When this gets released and you share, if you throw a suggestion down there, naming the Old Bulls, lock of the week, we might pick the best one and go with that. So throw that in the comment section on Facebook and we might run with that. And we're also going to do our drawing. All right. 10 people share it again. So 10% chance of winning. All you have to do is click the share button. Not hard. Last week, we had a repeat winner, Steve Sargent, just stealing all the $15 prizes and gift cards. Yeah, he is. And we're going to end the segment with thoughts on the game. Super Bowl happened. Patriots were in a no-win situation either way. Either team winning was going to be bad, so we're going to give you our thoughts on that and why the team won that one. So here we go, Matt. Start us off.
Sounds good. Alrighty, so we will slide right into the buy and sell segment. Like my dad said, this is an extended buy and sell, and for a first time ever, my dad is getting behind the counter and he's actually offering goods. So he's put some thought into this. He has some cards on this table, and I'm gonna let you know if I buy or I sell it. And really curious for you, all you guys out there, the audience being engaged is one thing that helps drive us. So if there's anything on this thing that you buy or don't sell, if you want to go through the list, go buy, let us know. Any engagement would be greatly appreciated and noted, and my dad and I will definitely reply to all of it. So I'll start us off here. The first one is the Knicks and the Cavaliers. So everybody sees this picture right here. A lot has happened in the East. So my question to my dad is buy or sell. The Knicks and Cavaliers are the new biggest contenders for the Celtics to come out of the East.
I am buying that.
Wow.
And once again, the old bull, pulling a muscle here, pat myself on the back, because again, 2 months ago, when they were basically a 500 trash team, I said, my biggest concern in the East is going to be the Cavaliers. Once those guys get healthy and put it together, and sure enough, they've won 12 out of 13 games or something like that, and they're climbing up the standings.
They're doing pretty good.
Celtics still have they still have a nice healthy lead. So, I think we're just about locked up the number 1 seed, knock on wood. But yeah, the Knicks are in a bit of a slide, but you can't count that. They're missing 2 or 3 key
Randall,
players.
They're missing a few different guys. Randall, Anobi.
Yeah, Anobi. So, you can't go by that. They're just basically stuck with just Bronson right now. But before those injuries, they were, in fuego. They were on fire too. So, and man, Matt, you called it. Great call, Matt, with Doc Rivers. I don't know if they're turning that around, but talk about an absolute disaster so far with Milwaukee. I believe he's 3-6 or something like that. And it has not been good. That has been a complete clown show. So, yep, in my mind, these two are the teams to beat now. Sixers don't have Embiid. Who knows when he'll be back? So we'll see.
Yeah, and I don't like so to be honest, I think you and I are both on the same page here. Nobody should contend with the Celtics if they stay healthy, right? I think that's where the
absolutely.
Opinion. The East is just so weak. There's some teams in the West I think that will give us some trouble. But the Knicks are a well-coached team. great defense. They added Anobi, another great defender. So they're a bit scary to me. So yes, I also buy this with my dad. As to just touch on the Doc Rivers thing, they are facing the Memphis Grizzlies, who could probably lose to the Maine Celtics, and they're right now in the fourth quarter down by 5. Doc Rivers has the Bucks with a full roster of Giannis, Lillard, Lopez. They got Crowder back, Portis. They got all these guys, and they're down by 5. And the leading scorer for the Grizzlies is a 19-year-old kid named GG Jackson. So I don't. The Bucks are floundering. So I think we're on the same page, and we'll see if Doc Rivers can come out of that. So my dad is taking the apron off, giving the shopkeeper apron to my dad. What are you buying? What am I buying? What am I selling, Dad? What's going on?
All
What's
right,
this meteor?
so Meteor, is it? All right, so do you buy and sell that the Bruins are in the same boat as the Celtics, which is you don't win the championship this year, it is an absolute disaster. We're talking Armageddon. The Celtics don't win, it is a complete disaster. Everyone knows that. Everyone's on board with that. It is win or go home. Bruins, are they in the same boat, Matt? Do you buy that?
So here's the crazy thing.
Do
They've
you have as
proven me
much
wrong.
pressure on them?
See, that's the thing. I mean, I feel like this year they're playing with house money. And to be honest, I've sort of had a hard time with their Stanley Cup chances after losing last year. I felt like that was our kind of big chance. So I'll buy it. I don't know how much longer we can dip into the fountain of youth here with this roster, with the kind of shallow amount of talent that we have in our farm system, the lack of picks we've been able to, capitalize on. I don't know how much longer this team can contend. So this is a huge year. I think this year is going to kind of make or break us. And you know, I don't know what this roster is going to look like in 2-3 years with Marchand playing the minutes he's playing and everything like that. So I'm going to buy that if the Bruins don't win it this year, it's Armageddon. They might be done for a while. What about you, Dad?
Oh, all right. I'm selling on that. I just again, I mean, now if they at the trade deadline make some moves that I
Aggressive moves.
like, I will change that take. But again, they if they couldn't do it last year with that loaded roster on that historic season. It's asking a lot to be championship or bust like the Celtics, who are just absolutely fully loaded in a juggernaut. So I'm kind
Yeah.
of selling on that one.
Yeah. And the big reason I'm buying is because I just don't know if they're going to get a better chance this year than they like next year than they will this year, and the year after that. I don't know how much better their chances get year over year. So that's kind of where I'm struggling with that. All right.
Nothing wrong with that take. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a tough one for me because it's a conversation that has to be had because mainstream media is kind of forcing it down our throat. It's something where it's kind of silly and we should honestly, as Patriots fans, laugh off. But my dad and I might have different opinion here. Buy or sell, Dad, that Patrick Mahomes can now sit at the table with Tom Brady in the GOAT conversation. Are you buying that he can sit there? Are you selling it? Get out of the table. You don't belong yet.
So you're talking like with Tom and
Montana.
Montana.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh yeah, I'm buying. I'm
Oh,
buying.
wow.
28 years old, 3 Super Bowls. He just won one this year with probably his worst team. I mean, Matt, I'm all about calling it like it is. On being honest, it all of this kills me. Don't get me wrong. Not, but at the table, I mean, who else has 3? I mean, guys like Aikman do and
Yeah.
Terry Bradshaw, but it's
Yeah.
hard to put those like the passing was just not a huge factor in the NFL back then. So, I mean, yeah, put them at the table though. Hey, they won 4 Super Bowls. So, I mean, yeah, I'm buying that he's at least at the table. Like, can we put him at a little kiddie table? like on the
he
side, or does he have to sit at the big table?
yeah. So I'll put this up here. I'll let you buy this, but I'm selling this so incredibly hard. His first big contract and cap hit like hit this year, and like you said, he had one of his worst teams yet. His next big cap hit is next year. Kelsey's getting a year older. That entire team is Kelsey. I, you said it last week in the podcast. You're an idiot if you're the 49ers if you don't take away Kelsey, and they did for the first half. They
For the
did,
first half?
and then they just stopped. They stopped. All they had to do was do what they've been doing all the game long. What nobody really put the effort into. I mean, the Ravens were arrogant. The Ravens put Kyle Hamilton on Kelsey. Hamilton hadn't
Yeah.
let up a touchdown to a tight end all year. Blah blah. You just got to double the
So
guy.
dumb.
That's it. It's so dumb. It's
Yep.
arrogance. He has a hard time throwing to these other wide receivers. I mean, I sell it because I don't like Brady's one of one. And I think it's even weird to even say Montana's at the table with him, but I'll concede that for now. Um, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the conversation. Sadly, it's going to happen every year from this point forward, and every Super Bowl that Mahomes wins going forward. Um, I it's uncomfortable. So, any other thoughts on that?
If he does,
If
don't
he
forget
does,
how hard it is to win a Super Bowl. He might not win another one. We'll have to see. So, yeah, but what Kansas City get 3 points in the first half,
yep,
and Kelsey had, I think, was it one catch for
one
one
catch
yard,
for
or they
one
get
yard. Yep, one
I
catch, 1 yard.
because they just and then in the second half they just started playing zone, started just man up in them at times, and it was I don't know what I mean. Shanahan, he does does he crap his pants in the biggest moments. So I mean, what are you going to do? But I don't know. I think you might be right there too. We might have to kick Brady away from the table and just give him a throne all by
Yeah,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah, and he can watch his peasants eat at that table below him, beneath him.
Yes.
So I like
And,
that.
and Kelsey finished with 9 catches for 93 yards. That means he had 8 catches and 92 yards in the second
Oh, in the
half.
second half.
That's
What are you
absolutely
doing?
nuts. Absolutely nuts. So,
Oh,
all right,
anyway.
Dad. What do you got for us? What is this this handsome fella in the Bruins jersey? What are we buying or selling about him?
Oh, what could have been if Marchand just scored that breakaway with 1 second left when we're up 3 games to 1. So, Matt, are you buying or selling that the Bruins are going to do everything they can to duplicate last year's trade deadline?
Ooh.
They don't have much draft picks, but they still have some. They still do have some young prospects that have some value. Do they go all in like they did last year?
All right. So, this might be controversial, but I think that they've touched the stove and it's hard to come at the trade deadline with that much fervor back to back years, right? Because we kind of mortgaged our future last year. We have no
Yeah.
business being where we are in the standings right now. If you look at early on our predictions for the Bruins, it wasn't to be number one in the Atlantic Division like we are. Um, I don't think they pull the trigger again. I think they probably try and approach it differently. Maybe they feel like the amount of change ups and everything that came, even though Bertuzzi added a lot of value, I think that they stand pat a bit more at this trade deadline with Patriots emergence, Swayman's emergence. Um, I don't know how much they kind of chase after it this year. So I'm going to sell it. I'm going to get some
Okay.
activity in our sell column. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think they are either. I, you know, I want to push back on you, but yeah, they probably are feeling a little burnt after last year. Empty in the cupboard and to get knocked out in the first round. Wow. I mean, this what a blow. But
Yep.
yeah, I think they're going to be a little gun shy this year. So anyway,
Yeah. We haven't really done like a checkup on our exes hockey too much. I mean, the Celtics, it's
mm.
kind of self-explanatory. Everybody got hurt,
Ooh,
right? Everybody got hurt.
we need to do that. Yeah, we do
Yeah,
need to do that though at some point.
yeah.
Another one.
But
Yeah.
I did look at Bertuzzi. He's gotten better, but we could definitely do a post. Maybe next week we'll do a go around, check up on our exes: Orlov, Hathaway, Bertuzzi. all those guys, and see where they're standing, and the Celtics guys. So yeah, we'll move on to my next buy and sell. This is a tough one, because I feel like I'm like a Jets fan or a Browns fan at this point, because it's always like, is it next year? Is next year the year? So
Hmm.
do you buy or do you sell that the hype for the next Patriots season is higher than last year? Do you buy that it's higher than last year? This upcoming week one of the season, are you going to be more excited for week one of this season coming
Oh,
up, or were you than you were last year, or not?
I am completely selling. The hype is going to be way higher for the past year with Bill O'Brien coming in, thinking, he's going to fix the offense, fix Mac. We had a defense that was counted on to be elite level.
Yeah,
We're going to lose some players from that. And, even if they do get that shiny new toy you and I want, that quarterback at number 3, expectations are not going to be high. They're just
yes,
not. They're going to lose players. Um, we'll see what they do in the free agent market. They're talking about spending big cash. They actually have no choice. There is a lower
a
apron. You
floor.
have to get
Yeah,
above that.
yeah,
So, yeah, they have to get up. So they are going to bring some talent in. Hopefully they hit on those better than they did the last free agent period, because they did not do that well there. But I think everyone's expectations, especially after last year, brand new head coach, brand new everything. I think everyone's going to be like, hey, let's just see promise this year. If we somehow, I don't know, make the playoffs, we'll treat it like we won the Super Bowl, because it'll be a minor miracle.
yeah. I've touched the stove, and I used that with the Bruins list, the last segment right there, or last sell. But I don't know. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the premise of a new quarterback, getting rid of Mac. Um, it's at the very minimum, it will be an entertaining season. This is our first season, my first season, really, in my lifetime without Belichick as the coach. Um, I'm not saying I'm hyped for a Super Bowl, but I'm kind of excited to see what this team is now. Right? Maybe I should be more afraid, right? But I'm kind of excited for the future. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but last year, after 6 or so games, it really became a slog and frustration. So I'm kind of excited to, even if we lose a little bit next year, to kind of be able to write it off as, hey, we're building. So yeah. All right, Dad.
I mean, I'll be excited too if we get Jaden Daniels and he's starting. Yeah, I'll be excited
Oh
about
yeah.
that too, to see
I'm
what the
sure you'd
kid
be
has.
excited, but
So
you're
yeah,
right. You're
we'll
right.
see.
The hype will probably be lower than last year, because you and I
Yeah.
both, if you look at the records we anticipated for the Patriots, both had that
Hmm.
team finishing really high. So
Yeah.
here we are, this mystery guy, Dad. What is this? What's the
Yes.
sell here?
So, are you buying that if they do use their cap space to bring in what is considered a successful veteran like Baker Mayfield or Kirk Cousins, are you buying that the Patriots make the playoffs next year?
Oh, that's a good question. I think that, and you and I talked about this a bit. I think they squandered what was a easy ride to the playoffs last year. There was a lot of injuries. Um, I don't know if that's the
Mm,
norm now with the NFL, but Burrow going down,
yeah.
Pickett. I know he kind of sucks, but Pickett went down for the Steelers. They were in like a quarterback
Rogers.
carousel. Rodgers went down. Um, there was a lot of turnover at the quarterback position, especially in the AFC, and they screwed it up. I don't think
Yeah.
that's going to happen again, and I don't think Baker Mayfield, Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett, Russell Wilson, they don't move the needle enough to get us into the playoffs. I think a lot of teams are going to come back next year better, more hungry, especially in our division with the Bills. And actually, the Bills might be in a kind of a tough cap situation. But yeah, I'm gonna sell that our playoff chances next year are anything close to what they were
Mm.
last year, especially in the beginning. Nope, it's not
Even
happening.
with a
I don't think
decent veteran quarterback. Okay.
even with a decent veteran quarterback, yeah. And if they have a time machine to bring back whatever they were 4 years ago, maybe we'll see. But selling. What about you?
Yeah. I I mean, I'm gonna buy it if they do well in free agency. They don't lose play. I mean, their defense is good enough. Judon and Gonzalez are going to be back. If they spend their money wisely and don't blow like a ton on Duggar, let him go. And they bring in some legit weapons to go with a couple quarter. I mean, I think they could squeak in the playoffs. So I think I would buy that if they,
Yeah.
just pull some of the buttons. But
Well,
they would need a lot of things to go right. Don't get me wrong. They need a lot of things to go right.
yeah, and I'm going of the assumption of they make moves in free agency, but we don't know if those moves are good or not, right? There's really no way for
That's
us to
true.
know. So, I mean, if you can guarantee me that the moves are good, then yes, I think
Hmm.
their playoff chances are good. But if no one can guarantee that, so ahead of the season, if they make signings, they make signings. I'm sure I'm going to be happy about them, but I don't see their playoff chances going up. Um, all right.
Fair enough.
So this is something that really bothered my dad, to be honest. But I'm curious if he's changed his mind, warmed up to the fact. But buy or sell, Jaylen Brown participating in the dunk contest is good for All Star Weekend and good for you as a fan when it comes to watching All Star Weekend. Do you buy that that it improves your viewing experience with All Star Weekend and you're happy about it?
So the general public, the general Celtics fan base,
No, old
absolutely.
bull,
That is
old
going to be
bull.
fun. Oh, the old bull? Absolutely not. I'm going to be watching it all right, but in complete dread. I am going to just, every dunk he does, I'm just going to pray he does not injure himself. I already don't like the fact that I know he's probably spent a lot of time customizing these dunks and trying to perfect them and think of, creative ones where he should be working on his handle and dribbling the ball and not turning it over. So from the old bull, no, I am completely out. I sell that. But if you're a general Celtics fan, yeah, how do you not be excited to watch that?
Yeah. And it's tough, right? Because um I'm not opposed to it. It's exciting for me as a fan, general Celtics fan. And of course, it's going to be easy for my dad to say, "I told you so." If Jaylen Brown becomes the first NBA player to ever
Oh,
get injured in a dunk contest, but at the same time, my dad gets to enjoy the
knock
watching him
on
in the
wood.
dunk contest just like everybody else. So I think it's kind of dry to be a bit poo poo in it when you're going to sit there and watch it. Um, so yeah, you could sell it, but you're buying tickets to watch it. So
I hope he gets knocked out in the first round. See ya.
yeah.
Go have a seat.
Jason Tatum might make an appearance, he said, as like a prop or something. So it's good to see the
Oh
guys.
God.
It's good to see the
Okay.
guys,
That is
vibing
good.
and having that, camaraderie. So here's
I do like
speaking of
that.
Jaylen Brown, cookies and cream here. We got Porzingis. What's the
Yes.
what's the sales pitch here?
So Matt, hypothetical. Hopefully it's not. Hopefully it's a fact. Celtics win the championship this year. Do you buy that when it's all said and done, almost everyone's going to be in agreement that Porzingis was the second biggest reason why ahead of
Oh,
Jaylen Brown?
yeah, I 100%. I'm gonna buy that 100%. Um, a lot of people.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's not me dogging Jaylen Brown by any means. If
Hmm.
you've watched Celtics games, you know that saying Porzingis is a transcendent talent is and ahead of Brown is not a knock, right? That's like he's I think Porzingis is when he's on the court a top three big man in the league. I think he's better than Anthony Davis. That's probably super controversial for everybody, but I think he's better than Anthony Davis. I think he's up there with Embiid and Jokic. Um, he brings so much to the table, and I think we saw what he did to the Miami Heat. Absolutely torched them with Bam Adebayo, and that would have been amazing last year. He brings a layer of complexity to our offense that, I love Jaylen Brown, but very few people in the league can bring because of his, Porzingis, his athleticism, his range, his size, and the guy's a amazing defender. I know that you and I did some research when he came over, and we were like, he's actually a really good defender, but he's proven that he's a good defender and he hustles. So I think Porzingis could be vying for the, was it the Bill Russell Trophy, the MVP at the end of it, because he has the opportunity to make that kind of impact. And I'm really excited, and I hope we get to that finals where it's just all bets are off, everyone's playing hard every single possession, right? I think his name will be firmly stamped on the trophy if we win that, for sure. What about you, Dad?
So you feel the general public will come out of it saying Porzingis was more important than Brown? Okay.
Yes.
Now, listen, I agree with that. I actually hope that doesn't happen. I hope the Celtics win a championship, and Jaylen Brown is viewed as the biggest reason why, or the second biggest.
Yeah.
Because I want him happy. I love Jaylen Brown. I want him here. I don't want any talk about trading. I don't want him asking out of Boston because he's just sick of the city. So I think it's probably likely going to happen. They win the championship. Everyone's going to be pointing at Porzingis as the number 2 reason. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope as far as the credit goes, I hope Brown is the one who's getting, either number 1 credit. He even performed better than Tatum, or number 2. But we'll see. I mean, bottom line is I just hope the Celtics raise banner.
You just want Brown to be happy, right? You want the banner. You want Brown to be happy, and I think Brown in the dunk contest it makes him happy. Brown in the in the other stuff makes him happy. So I think it's totally fine. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
And I think I just realized I mixed up my trophies here. This is the slam dunk contest trophy. So I have another thing at the end. So my buy and sell for the Stanley Cup here. Bruins, my dad has had a very high tolerance for the adversity the Bruins have been through. The past 3 games, past 5 games, really, if you take out the Canucks games, have not been good. They are now no longer have this huge lead above everybody else in points that they, kind of fostered at the beginning of the season. So do you buy, Dad, or do you sell that the Bruins are still a top 3 Stanley Cup contender in the league? That's a tough one, especially in the midst of the streak. I know.
I'm not going to let this streak get to me. No, I'm still buying. Top 3, I don't know, but I feel like they're definitely top 5. So I'm buying it. I still think they're a top 5. I think they're one of 5 teams that are going to win the cup. Absolutely. 3, 3's hard.
You bought it. You bought it, man.
I guess I would still do it.
It's already yours.
Yeah.
And you can't, no returns, no refunds on that. Top 3
I
team
got my
in the
receipt right
NHL.
here. What are you talking about?
No.
Oh,
No.
All right.
It's so, yeah. I have a hard time. I'm hoping they could turn it on, but I think the NHL, like more so than any other sport, is about catching fire at the right time. And there's just been too many times this year where they just go absolutely ice cold. I know that at the same time, there's been the, opposite of that. The reason why they're still number 1, even in spite of these streaks. But as of late in the last 20 to 30 games, it's been a bit too much adversity for me. I'm really concerned about their chances. And I see some of these other teams, loading up. They're kind of doing what we did last year at the trade deadline with Vancouver. I know we beat them, but they just added the Lindholm kid, Elias Lindholm. Other teams going to start adding people, and I don't know if we're going to make the moves. That's why I sold that other thing. So it's going to be an arms race, and right now I think we're falling behind. Never mind when they start adding people on other teams. So we'll see.
Hey,
now, Dad,
don't worry. Bergeron will be back for the last 10 games. Don't worry, the playoffs.
Bergeron. You know what? You got to bring Chara back too. Number 33. Bring Chara back. Just. Yeah.
Bergie, yes. Chara, no. Yeah.
He's running marathons out there.
Oh,
the bonus. Bonus.
All right. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, Matt. I really need you to buy this. And if you do, okay, I will agree with anything you have to say as long as it doesn't involve having sex with old ladies or bear traps. Okay, because those are my two bugaboos. I'm out. Those are my deal breakers.
For 22 years, you went Kerouac on everyone's house?
Look, I want to be honest with you. I really need a job, and I will take any position as long as it doesn't involve having sex with old ladies for money or bear traps. Those are my two bugaboos.
All right, got it. There's a catering business that there's a temp job is open for you, and you get to play with fire.
My deal breakers. Okay. So here is the most important question that's going to dwarf your final question. Nobody's even going to care about it. Does the old bull still have a chance to make it on the cover of Pickleball magazine?
Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I see the old bull. The only person talking about the old bull right now is the old bull. So I mean, he has to. I think at some point you got to have someone record you out there, put a headband on, and record you, and we could post up a little clip on the podcast. The old bull's pickleball extravaganza. One highlight play, and we'll see. I mean, so you know what? Just to make you happy, I'll buy it. Buy it. Old bull.
Boom. Yes.
Generational talent of pickleball. We'll have to go play it sometime when you're up here because they have things. So you just got to come during the week when the schoolyard has drop-ins. So yeah,
sounds good.
He's obsessed with pickleball. Everybody obsessed with it. So this was the wrong trophy. So this trophy down here, I already took it down. Now I can't put it back. Buy or sell that the new rule regarding having to play X amount of games to win the MVP, to be all NBA. Do you buy that is a great change, or are you selling it? What do you think, Dad?
Well, I'm biased because I'm a Celtics fan. And this year, to me, it's all about load management, health, and rest. So it's a great rule for the league. It is a legit problem when fans are paying all this money to show up to a game and all these stars are sitting out. They look forward to this months in advance. So it is a huge problem. So it's a great rule as far as the NBA goes. It makes complete sense for them. But man, I wish they started enforcing that next year because I don't care about it. If I had my way, our top six would barely play for the rest of the year. And just crank it up for the playoffs. So, but I'm buying it because it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean the league was turning into such a weird dynamic with these all-star players, soar this, soar that, and it was pretty garbage. I really like when the best ability is availability. These guys are out there, they're playing their butts off. They want to be compared to the Jordans, they want to be compared to the Birds, they want to be compared to all these guys, but they want to play 53 games a year. So it's like, yeah, you averaged 36 points a game last season. That's awesome. Oh, how many games you played? Almost only like half a season. Yeah, that's why. So of course you can go up there and put up 45 a night when you have 5 days between games. So overall, I think this is great. And I also think that we have the perfect roster for this because we don't have the glory chasers, the triple double chasers of Doncic and, no offense to Jokic, Jokic and, what Russell Westbrook was, Harden, these guys who go out there, they're just stat padding out there. I think our team overall plays really well. It is pissed me off though when like Missoula keeps Tatum out there with up by 43, with 5 minutes to go in the third. I mean, I don't know what the heck that was. So that does bug me. But no, I'm glad you bought this. I love this change. It's definitely, I think, good for the league overall. So yeah. Any final thoughts on our buy and sell, Dad?
That's it. Let's move on.
All right. So this is my dad's mystery segment. I don't know why he's calling it a mystery segment because he also kind of told you what it was after saying it was a mystery. I don't know. You watched Scooby-Doo before getting on the podcast or something. Much. So please explain how this is a mystery. So go ahead, Dad.
I mean, because I feel like both teams are going through it right now. It is the doldrums of the season. everyone's panicking about the Bruins. They have been awful for our last 5 games. The Celtics are not blowing out teams like they were at the beginning of the year. They're still winning. I mean, but it's very simple. It comes down to the time of year. Both teams are just bored right now. Completely bored. Did I lose you, Matt? What the heck happened? We had a technical malfunction here. You all right? You back?
I'm back. Yep.
But,
It comes down to the time of year. What about it? What about the
you all
time of year?
right? You need like a snack or a 5-minute timeout? I don't know what your generation needs. I mean,
Listen,
I don't know.
all I know is you say that
Okay.
we're not blowing out teams, and the Celtics just won by 50, and I fainted and hit my keyboard. So go ahead with your nonsense talk.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the Brooklyn Nets checked out, and they were just cared about their All-Star break because none of them were going to the game. But anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, but in general, a lot of their games have been closer than they should be against much lesser opponents. Listen, I'm here to tell you, I'm not crapping on our teams. I'm here to tell you it's human nature. It's the time of year they're bored. And it's great that the Celtics are still winning these games. Because let me tell you, look at how some of the other teams around the league are sliding that.
Yeah.
Because they're going through the same thing. It's like they just, kind of checked out. The playoffs are still kind of far away. They may be dealing with a little fatigue. I think the Bruins are, I've been on that bandwagon. I think they're bored and they might be a little tired. Because again, everyone's an Iron Man. Everyone's going to be a tough guy. No one can sit out a damn game unless they get a major injury on the Bruins. So I think they're facing boredom and fatigue. I don't think the Celtics are fatigued. I think they're just bored. And, they look, and like you said, they kind of, their first blowout win in a while last night. It's almost like they were kind of pumped, or they got going on vacation and All-Star game coming up for a couple of the guys, and they just, laid it on Brooklyn, who had checked out. And so I'm here to tell you, don't worry about your Bruins and Celtics. These aren't permanent slides. They're not something to be concerned about. I'm telling you now, they're bored.
Yeah.
All right. And once the playoffs get near, they'll be fine.
All right. I like my dad's his threshold for adversity with the Celtics is too low. It's absurd. Like so many inconsistencies in what you say about the Celtics. Number one, you say we don't blow teams. We haven't blown teams out in a while. We just blew somebody out by 50. And then you said it's been a while, Dad. On February 4th, 11 days ago, we beat the Grizzlies by 40 points. I mean, I don't know what else you want from this team. This team is blowing people out. It's taking care of business. And, man, Dad, it's just
February 11th, February 11th.
4th.
You realize that February 4th, that was like 4,000 hours ago, right?
Yeah.
That's a long time. Okay.
Yeah, like 4,000 seconds or something like that. I mean, just the thresholds for adversity of my dad is so low with this team. This team is just firing on all cylinders, and every team shows up playing hard against the Celtics. The Nets did not. Like that was one of the first times I've seen a team show up against us and just like say, you know what, we don't even really want to play in quite some time, because usually we get everyone's best. Miami has been struggling, and they show up. They're without Butler. Butler had a death in the family. My condolences to him and his family, his loved ones. And they show up and they just give us a fight. Washington, they were shooting like 60-something% from 3. I mean, these teams are showing up against us, and they're trying to take down the champs because, like you said, Dad, it's championship or bust for this team. So, I mean, then we look at the other side.
Future champs. They're not the champs yet. Future champs, hopefully.
And so then here's the problem. Then we look at the team on my jersey here, and you mentioned fatigue. They just got done with the All-Star break. What are these guys doing? They're coming out so flat out of the All-Star break. Lost 4 games out of 5. I mean, his last 3 games they've had 3 goals while giving up, I think, over 10. I mean, since they've been back from the All-Star break, I don't even know what the goal differential for them is, but it's abysmal. I'm super concerned about about the Bruins. Right now we're tied for first. Actually, we've lost to first place in the Atlantic Conference. We are now behind the Panthers.
Oh, wow.
We have matched the games played, matched the points. They have the tiebreaker. I don't know what it is, if it's head to head or not. So I'm ready to hit the alarm on these guys. I know it's the dregs of the season, but this is a veteran team. We don't have the rookies. We don't have these young guys. So, Marchand, you're the captain. Step up, get your guys in gear, and just win some of these games. I mean, 4-1 at home against the Kraken. The Kraken are a middling team in the West. They were 3-5-1 coming into this game in their last 10 and last 9. And yeah, like, I guess go ahead. Calm me down on the Celtics. I mean, the Bruins, because I think we're switching spots
No,
here, but
you're right. I'm retracting my statement, and you're right. You made a good point. It's not tired because they did just come off the All-Star break. I mean, they might be tired at the end of the year because, again, they play every damn game. But you're right. That's no excuse. And so I just boil it down to they are bored. That's what it is. And I don't want to give them a pass for it. I don't. But at the same time, I don't know.
yep.
I'm kind of a hypocrite. I want them fresh for the playoffs. And if they're kind of losing because they're bored and they're not trying as hard, it's crazy to say I'm almost okay with that. I don't know. I know,
Yeah.
Matt. Your point is valid about how I have double standards with the Celtics and Bruins. But it's because the Celtics are loaded.
So
They
good.
have
They're a wagon.
They have almost a complete all-star team.
Yeah.
Like, it's insane. They have like almost a real life all-star team. So my expectations, my curve for them is just higher. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I expect more out of them. So, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you and Kayleen, you were like my special little son. I expected more out of Kayleen, and of course she delivered. And you're like my little Matt.
Yeah.
And hey, you tried really hard. You're my Bruins, Kayleen's my Celtics. What are you gonna do?
I get the crap end of that stick. I'll tell you now. And to me, like, I don't know if you saw this too, but like, I thought we were getting what we wanted because like Marchand didn't skate one morning, and I'm like, nice. He's actually gonna sit out a freaking game. But nope. He ended up playing that game later in the day. It's like, what do you guys?
Yeah. I think Pasta sat too, didn't he?
I don't know about Pasta, but I was like, okay, maybe, but like this Marchand has played, I don't even know how, like 17, 18, 19, 23, 19. I mean, that's
he
like,
just
what is
played
that?
game 1000 of his career.
Yep. He's played over 100 minutes in these 5 games, and he's come out of it with 3 points. So, 5 games, 10 points on the table. He plays 100 minutes of time on ice, and he comes out of it with only 30% of the points available and 100% of the wear and tear on his body. So I don't know. We're fading in those standings. I don't know how many more games are left. It looks like we're at 54. So is it 82 games in a season for hockey, or is it 86?
Yeah, no, 82.
82. So we got bad math. I think 28 games left. So I guess we'll see how everything goes there. Overall, I think the Bruins are playing with house money. I'm hopeful for them. I'm hoping they can turn it on. But if they lose, it is what it is. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I'm not worried about them. I think they're going to make a run. I do. I'm not worried about them. So we'll see. I'm not worried about this dip.
Yeah, and I mean the Celtics don't play until I think the 24th. So I really do hope.
Love it.
And that's Porzingis hurt his ankle. I don't know if you saw that in the first half of the last game, but he did say he could have come back in. So, but precautionary, they kept him out, which I appreciate. But I am hoping that the Celtics do find ways to get rest. I'm hoping that Tatum and Brown come back from the All-Star game rested. I'm also really excited that Doc Rivers is not coaching the All-Star game. That's a big thing for us because he's not going to run our starters into the ground like I've seen other coaches do. I think it's the Cavs coach. I don't know anything about him, but hopefully he'll have a bit more class. I don't know. Do you remember when that happened with Kemba Walker? He had a bad knee.
Yeah.
Then they played him like 45 minutes. Yeah, they played him like 45 minutes and his wheels fell off.
I was so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was bad.
But, yeah.
Yep. All right. So I think we could just move
All right.
into segment number 3. And my dad touched on this. So if you share, you get an entry into the giveaway. If you share a quality name for this segment, then he'll give you an extra entry to the giveaway on top of the share. You still got to share, but if you give a name for the segment, you can get 2 entries. That's an additional, however many percentage of chance to get that $15 gift card. So yeah, no jokes. Actually, a lot of jokes, but it has to be a legitimate one to get you an entry. So for this segment, this nameless segment, insert name here, Old Bulls Golden Wages or whatever the heck we're calling it right now. What is the lock of the week?
Oh, so the lock of the week before. Okay. So we don't have any NBA games coming up, right? And I don't want to do betting segments on hockey. I do have more knowledge on, I just don't, right? Hockey's so hard to bet. It just is. Basketball is definitely much easier. So there's no games this week. But what I do like, I'm not saying throw the house on it, but I think great odds are taking Shea Gilgeous-Alexander to win the All-Star MVP. He's at 800,
Plus
8 to 1 odds.
Nice.
Yep, he's super young. He's starting for the first time. And I mean, it's just going to be no defense, open floor. He probably plays a lot. And, I think, throw a few bucks on that. I think you got a good shot of, maybe cashing out at 8 to 1 odds.
Yeah. And the Timberwolves coach is going to be the one running it. So he might play the crap out of Shea Gilgeous. So there you go. I think that does help your odds. So you heard it here. His confidence was not strong. Anthony's got to teach him how to be confident in his picks. But otherwise, Old Bull with a good betting segment. Any other comments on the bets, Dad?
No, that's it. Let's get to the drawing, and then we'll talk about the Super Bowl.
All right, sounds good. So do you have your master list of 10 entries?
I
all
do.
of them say
So
Steve Sargent.
Here's our 10 entries. All right, you get a good view of each one.
Nice.
All right, so there's your number. All right. Trusty Google. All right. Google, pick a number between 1 and 10.
9.
9. Oh, are you kidding me?
What is this? Insider trading. Insider trading this guy.
Peter was actually the first knucklehead to win a $50 giveaway back when we tried it. Oh my God. Just what are you gonna do?
Now Vinny's gonna ask for the $15 gift card to be a Hurricane Betty's gift card for Vinny.
Hopefully we get a Vinny segment out of it. That was absolutely precious, that video. So we'll have to see. So hey, congratulations again, Peter. All he did was click that share button, and you just never know. So find out if you want either your $15 restaurant card, $15 Zelle, Venmo, or Cash App. I do all of those, baby. So thank you for sharing. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and shout out to Pete, because Pete's Facebook is a good place to be, because he's like the meme king. If you're looking for a funny meme, you'll find it on Pete's wall. He likes the memes. He's on there throughout the day, and he shares our podcast. It's great to grace his Facebook wall. Thank you, Pete. So so we'll move on. 51 minutes into this thing. Of course, I got to modify and edit a little bit out, but Super Bowl thoughts. Kyle Shanahan cannot get the monkey off his back. I don't know if everybody, all of our listeners know, but Kyle Shanahan was a part of the team that blew a 28-3 lead to the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl. I know.
When did that happen? Oh,
yeah. And that was actually a game where my wife just walked in the room. My wife watched the morale of the household just crash and burn, right? And she had hope, but I can tell you it was a hopeless place. We were all so sad. And Kyle Shanahan did it again. He found a way to screw it all up. I'm pretty sure there was at one point, like, they were running all over the Kansas City Chiefs, and they threw it like 3 times from the 40-yard line. Christian McCaffrey was just falling forward. I mean, I don't get to watch him play much, but in the playoffs, he kind of has that DeMarco Murray. I don't know if you remember DeMarco Murray or Le'Veon Bell. Those guys would always fall forward whenever they were running. And he had that same thing. It just was a guarantee. And for some reason, they went away from him despite having such a lead. It was an embarrassing coaching effort on Kyle Shanahan's part. And I think the coach lost this one. What are your thoughts, Dad?
Yeah, I mean, he's partly to blame. But I tell you, it just strengthens your stance and my stance on getting the quarterback. As much as we can't stand him, because he's good. The bottom line is San Francisco has a much better front to back roster than Kansas City. And even though Shanahan certainly helped, look what happened. The elite quarterback takes home the girl. I mean, it's just 49ers loaded every single loaded offensive line, receivers, running back, tight end, defensive line, linebackers, secondary. They are great at every level except quarterback. And look what happened. I mean, and we get a lot of pushback, and I see a lot of fans taking this. Bill, get the pieces first. Get the tackle. Get the wide receivers. Spend the cap space and build a strong team and just bring any quarterback in. Why? So I mean, we could hopefully be the 49ers. I mean, I would love. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to get back to the Super Bowl, but again, it just goes to show you when all is said and done, who wins the big game?
Yeah. The best
the elite quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think, Andy Reid also tried to lose that game too. Did you see him call the timeout to see if he should challenge the catch?
Yeah.
It's like, his clock management has never improved. He's always been a joke when it comes to clock management, and Patrick Mahomes bailed him out. And honestly, the kickers from both teams really bailed both teams out. That was an amazing kicking battle. The nerves of steel on both those kickers. Of course, the San Francisco 49ers guy, he had a kick blocked. I don't know how much that's his fault or what, but man, they were just going blow for blow, blow for blow. It was pretty impressive. Meanwhile,
it was.
And I don't know if you were going to say this, but was it the Chiefs kicker who is the rookie, or was it the San Francisco 49ers?
No. The 49ers kicker was a rookie, yeah.
The 49ers kicker was the rookie. He was the guy taken before Chad Ryland, right? When we just drafted. Yeah. So, and that guy straight up nails. Meanwhile, Chad Ryland, I'm pretty sure he just asked me for $1 outside of, Wings Over Worcester last night. So, probably. I mean, it's like just drafting woes, oh, here we go. We blew another one. I would love to have that guy on my freaking team as a kicker, but yeah, what are you going to say?
And let me tell you, what was really pissing me off throughout the game, and I kept posting this on Facebook. The 49ers, they just made it so easy for Mahomes in the second half. Do you remember some of the iconic, amazing throws that Brady had to make in that Seattle Super Bowl, the Falcons Super Bowl, and just unbelievable tight windows, jaw-dropping throws. Patrick Mahomes did not have to do one throw like that in the second half and in overtime.
Yep.
Not one throw that made me go, you know what? That's what a championship quarterback does. That throw. Not one. I mean, hey, it's not Patrick Mahomes' fault. Hey, he took what the 49ers gave him. But, oh, my God, could you make it a little difficult on him? And it was nothing. Just that game-winning touchdown was a joke. I mean, holy cow. Like, talk about no chance at all stopping that. It just, oh, man, it was so frustrating. It's like, what are you doing, Sanford? I think they fired the defensive coordinator. Sanford?
Yeah, they did.
Did I see that? And they should. All that talent, and you just couldn't. I mean, and not to mention he got away from doubling Kelsey in the second half. So, God, God, make that punk. I shouldn't call him a punk. Make that guy earn it. And I just felt like, hey, kudos to him. He won a Super Bowl, but I just come off as salty. I just don't feel like he earned it. It was like the easiest second half and overtime I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I
Insane.
think I think what we're used to is that one iconic play or that one iconic catch. And even you mentioned the Patriots ones, but there's also like the Giants against us.
Yeah.
This Super Bowl really didn't have that. It was more about two teams trying not to lose the game. There was no real major plays, and it was more about the kind of Matt Patricia way to play defense of like bend but don't break in the second half for really both sides, because the 49ers drove a lot in that second half. I just think they made some weird choices with play calling and didn't have some
Yeah.
some good game management skills with how much they were throwing it, deep into the zone, and how much running was working for them. So I mean, it was incredibly enjoyable Super Bowl to watch. If you remove all the other things around it, like the dealing with the Brady Mahomes, dealing with the 49ers, catching up to the Patriots. What a pleasant Super Bowl to watch as a fan. I I guess I got to start getting used to this, watching other teams play in the Super Bowl. So maybe I'll throw a Super Bowl party next year, because this year I was not prepared. I'm still adjusting, as a Patriots fan. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the Super Bowl. Any final ones, Dad?
That's why I'm drinking the Haterade, because it just feels like I remember those days, and it feels like the Chiefs are stealing our thunder now, man. We used to be that team. It
They
was
used to
just
be
so
us.
awesome.
If coach
It
just
was
put us in,
amazing.
we would have won state. We
Yeah.
sound like Uncle Rico now. So it is
Throw
what
the
it
ball
is.
a quarter mile.
Yeah, over those mountains.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yep. What are you
All
gonna
right.
do?
Yep. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate anybody who tuned in. I'll try and write out the buy and sells. Share yours. Go down the list. Buy, sell, buy. Really curious to hear everybody's
We might
thoughts.
even
So,
mention in the next podcast too, if we get a good one. We might even mention you on the
100%.
next podcast.
Yeah,
so
we can
not
we
just
can.
respond on Facebook, but mention you. So
Yeah, and
no.
they could see how you guys all agree with me and you disagree with my dad. It's a great opportunity. So we'll
That's not
definitely read into that. So everybody, I hope you have a good night, and see you next week.
Night, everyone.
I don't know where to begin. We are